Sync. Okay, I just want to say that I'm bulk recording videos. I promise I'm not just wearing the same outfit for 2 or 3 weeks straight, because I'm not that gross. But anyway, I always hear people say, yeah, well, vegans think they're better than meat eaters. And to their credit, I have encountered a few people online who say that animal eaters are bad people. But I think there's a very important distinction to make here. Whether it is the person who is bad or whether it is the action that is bad. In my opinion, by far one of the best things to come out of the Bible was hate the sin, love the sinner. Now, everybody who is self-aware at some point has done something that they know is wrong. But that doesn't mean that everybody out there is a bad person. That is that every time, say, you buy a bacon sandwich, you are paying for the next pig to be killed because the producers need to keep up with the demand. So once we understand that concept, it's pretty hard to deny that eating animals is a bad thing to do. People wince when they see slaughterhouse footage. They don't want their children to see it, and it can't be shown on TV before a certain time, and when it does, it needs to be described as graphic. We have such an aversion to this because we empathise at least a little bit with these animals, and we understand that what is happening to them is a bad thing. The fact that there are so many healthy vegans, and in fact that vegans live longer than non-vegans, even when you count in like lifestyle changes that are like exercise, it shows that there really is no necessity to eat animal products. Paying for someone to die when that individual doesn't want to die is pretty clearly a bad thing to do. I consider myself overall to be a good person, and I think that's standard for everybody, but I've done some things that I know are bad things, especially in retrospect. And so, you know, but I think that's the case with everybody. Good people do bad things, and I think that you would be looking for a long time to find somebody over the age of 3 who hasn't done something wrong in their lives. However, there's another important distinction to make here. We should look into our own behaviours and try to acknowledge which ones are bad behaviours and try to alter those behaviours in the future in an attempt to better ourselves. And in this case, that behaviour would be paying for animals to be killed when there's no necessity to do so. Or, as most people would say, eating meat. I see why most people don't see eating animals as a bad thing to do. We grow up in a culture where animal suffering is so ubiquitous that we don't even notice it, similarly to how a fish may not notice the water that they're submerged in, or that we forget that we're surrounded by air. Most of the animals that we see are dead and packaged. I mean, now that I'm a vegan and I'm living in a big city, I probably see more pigeons, but when I'm staying with my family, or I'm shopping, or I'm at work, I see loads of animals. It's like people who work at McDonald's probably see more animals in a shift than a zookeeper does. It's just that one of them only sees dead animals. So we've grown up to be completely blind to this death and suffering that we're surrounded by. We even use the word meat as a euphemism. It's like if they were humans, we would say flesh or corpse. It's just that those words aren't as appetizing. So of course, because we're surrounded by all this suffering, most people don't see eating meat as a bad thing to do, until that is they challenge it. Now, I would personally argue that it's those who eat animals that in fact have an ego problem. Now, but if you're an angry animal eater, please don't click off the video and thumbs down just yet. Please just hear me out. I do not think that I'm personally better than my animal eating friends. However, I extend that same feeling towards non-human animals. If it was legal to eat other humans, I wouldn't do that either, because who am I to decide when your life should end just because I'm a bit hungry, especially when there are other options. However, non-vegans do not extend that same courtesy to non-human animals when they pay for them to die. Many non-vegans will make vegan jokes about people who are just trying to save lives. Non-vegans also contribute to animal agriculture, which is destroying our planet more than any other industry. So if you're destroying our planet and killing others who want to live just like we do, I don't think that you're in much of a position to argue that people who are making a move to not do the same thing are the ones with a sense of entitlement. But if hearing that made you feel uncomfortable, let me know what I'm missing in the comment section down below and I'll happily talk about it. But let's say that vegans do have big egos and they look down on non-vegans. So what? that's no reason to eat animals. Apparently, Malcolm X had a big ego, but that's no reason to be a white supremacist. The behaviour of vegans has absolutely nothing to do with the animals that we're speaking up for, and it certainly isn't the fault of those animals. I think the reason that this stereotype exists is because deep down we all know that inflicting pain and death is wrong. And so when we meet somebody who isn't doing that, it makes us reflect upon our own behaviour, and instead of accepting responsibility, we look for a scapegoat. Well, I think I'll leave that one there. If you agreed with me or you disagreed with me, or if I made you see something in a new light, let me know in the comment section down below the video. If you're more subtle than that, you can leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But yeah, this has been a Coli video, and I'll talk to you next time.